Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nemekonyeka Oderori. I'm here to discuss on how we can creatively, as a country, tap into the massive global halal market that is very, very massive. It's currently estimated that the halal economy is over $7 trillion. And it's projected to go to about $10 trillion over the next 5 years. Now, the federal government of Nigeria came up with this controversial launch of Nigeria National Halal Economy Strategy, and they said it's a pathway to $1 trillion economy. And when I saw it, I knew that this is a very insensitive approach to tapping into what is obviously a big market for Nigeria. I've always said this, and in some of my broadcasts, I've mentioned clearly that Nigeria is a country of absurdities. It's a country that have almost half of its population as Muslims. Yet, we do nothing in terms of creatively tapping into a huge market that countries that do not even have any Muslim population are tapping into. I'll give you an example. The agro-halal market alone, the halal food market alone, is currently worth over $2.7 trillion. And it's estimated to go to about $5.391 trillion over the next 5 years. Do you know the countries that are tapping into it? South Africa. South Africa in 2021 alone exported 60,000 tons of halal compliant beef. Look at Brazil. Brazil has the same demography as Nigeria. Brazil has the same population as Nigeria. But Brazil in 2023 exported over $22 billion worth of halal compliant food into the Middle East. Nigeria, we have 19 million cows. 19 million kwashiorkor cows. We've begged the federal government of Nigeria. The right thing to do is ban open grazing. Create 2,500 agro-pastoral centers in the north. 2,500 agro-pastoral centers, each of them 1,000 hectares. It will take about $6 million to establish one. It will cost us $15 billion creatively to create this. Each of these centers will house at least up to 500 to 1,000 cows. Each of these centers will have other agro commodities grown in them with processing plants. Each of these centers will create nothing less than 2,000 to 10,000 direct jobs. Each of these centers will generate annually over $42 billion. $42 million into this economy. Each of these centers will have at least 300 to 500 agro rangers fully done and equipped that will help us to protect the land and enhance security. Then what do we have? Dumb, backward thinking people are still doing open grazing, creating open grazing routes. When we know Netherlands, each of their cow produces almost about 2 liters of milk every day. In Israel, even in the Kibbutz desert, they do almost about 60 liters of milk a day from one cow. In Nigeria, it's practically less than 1 liter because the cows are almost exhausted by the time they trek from Pambegua to Maya. And we have people. So all they do is try to create ethnic divisions in the land, try to create religious schism just to achieve cheap political point, because 90% of the average Nigerian are so ignorant, they don't even understand what the halal economy means. In a very multi-ethnic, multi-religious country like Nigeria, how insensitive can it be when they posted pictures of Mr. President, a Muslim, and his vice, a Muslim, and they said, oh, a national strategy for halal economy, pathway to $1 trillion economy. If you ask them to break it down, they can't break it down. Even beyond the halal food market, that is $2.7 trillion size, even the halal fashion market, the halal finance market is even bigger. Those ones are almost over $7 trillion. We know that from Kano to Onitsha to Aba, we can set up clusters that can produce halal compliant fashions that will help us tap into the $7 trillion market. We know that if we are very, very intentional, we set up these agro clusters, we set up agro rangers and destroy the very foundation of what has been dragging us back, which is insecurity. Send Lukawara, Boko Haram, ISWAP, unknown government, send them to their maker, the devil. And we create a secured country that has 24/7 security and put back the 3.5 million people in IDP camp back to their houses, back to productive work. Bring back the 330,000 Nigerians who are in refugee camps back to productive work. We secure this land. We can build a halal food. We can create and export nothing less than $100 billion halal foods into the Middle East. Halal compliant foods, halal compliant fashion, and everything. It's a huge market. And Nigeria sits at a very vantage position to tap into that market all over North Africa, even into Europe. But what are we doing? We do nothing about it. Do you know the one that will shock you? I was discussing with one of the commercial attaches in the Chinese embassy. The guy was telling me how big the pork market is in China. China's pork market is about $54 billion annual size domestically. In Sub-Saharan Africa alone, it's a $3 billion market. Do you know what will shock you? They import most of their pork from Brazil into Nigeria. Nigeria is actually a place where we can do the $3 billion pork market. But some religious dung heads will want to tell you why we will not do it. Okay, the ones who will ask you to do, what of the beef? We have 19 million kwashiorkor cows that they've only used it to extend terrorism, extend banditry. The terrorist herdsmen, the Fula terrorist herdsmen, the Fula militia that the Kawuba just said they imported into Nigeria to 2015 are now hiding under innocent herdsmen to perpetrate and wreak havoc across Nigeria. In a country that have right-thinking people in Abuja, right-thinking people in the 30 states of federation, right-thinking people as local government chairman, what we should be thinking about is how do we boost the agro sector? Look at Netherlands, 1.5 million hectares of land, 47,000 people in their district. What are they doing? For 7,000 only, they do $24 billion exports annually. The only thing we do here in Nigeria is harvest of debt, harvest of insecurity, harvest of, and we keep on playing these dirty politics rather than do things that will create values in the sectors that can generate revenue into Nigeria. Nigeria is the only place where nobody wakes up in the morning and he knows or understands what to do. You are running around, you are afraid of your life, you are afraid of the terrorists on the road who bear security, who answer security men, and all the rest of them. The day we wake up to do the right things, outside of empty political sloganeering, adopting the best strategy, the best knowledgeable people to work with us, the day Nigeria will begin on the path to growth and all-inclusive prosperity. Thank you.